Hello. Welcome, dear purveyors of my awfulness. Welcome. Welcome, Lotganut. The Lotganut. Welcome, you all. Staying hydrated. Must stay hydrated. All right. Who's in chat? Who is out there right now? Saren Void, I know. Shadow, welcome. Right now I'm deafened, so don't bother saying much. Just want to ramble for a second here. All right. So, does sound okay? Good. Just making sure it's coming through. Yeah, I am. I'm deafened. The server deafened. Shows me I am. You lie. Okay. Oh, there's a few of you here already. Alright. It's good. Death end, dude. Death end. Death end. Okay. So, today's subject. Oh, music's a little loud. Let's turn that out a smidge. No. There we go. Okay. So, welcome to Schizoid Saturdays. This is where I read some submissions based on a question that I posed to the server. Didn't get too many submissions this time around. It's kind of hit and miss. Some days I'll get a bunch, and other days a couple. But the ones I did get were pretty lengthy, some. So I am excited about that. I didn't read them yet. I just kind of look at how many submissions there are just to have a general idea. But I avoid reading anything in them. I like to get a first reaction to whatever it is I'm reading. But Schizoids on the server has submitted questions to me, and I submitted a question, and they have some answers. Though maybe them submitting questions would be interesting too. Sometime. Maybe I'll try it. Unlikely it'll work though. Okay. So, today we are going to be talking about family, our favorite subject. I'm sure for many of us. But the question that I had posed for this stupid little stream of mine was the following. It's not too long, so I should be able to post this one on the pin it on the chat. Do you have or had any family members that you suspect were / are neurodivergent or are diagnosed neurodivergent? If so, please give an explanation and whatever thoughts you may have on the subject itself. Try to keep it simple this time. Do the people that answered this question, do they have, or mostly I just want to know about schizoids that think they have neurodivergent family members that aren't necessarily diagnosed, or they have neurodivergent family members that were professionally diagnosed. That's what I'm kind of curious about. That's what I want to hear about. Let me see here. Just making sure everything's panning out like it's supposed to. Discord's just being weird. So, as far as my experience with that, I think about it a little bit. I usually like to tell you my experience at the beginning, and then we'll go into the other stuff. I think my father might have been in some way or another. Or he might have just had like some kind of learning disability or something. I'm not too sure. But I know he had trouble with a few different things. And he had some memory stuff too, for sure. But you know, he also had a lot of things that I think have little to do with any kind of neurodivergency, more to do with character, personality, that I'm not a fan of. It's an understatement of my life. And my mother, I don't know what to think about my mother as far as that stuff goes. I don't think so. She was pretty neurotypical in most ways, but she did tell me some odd stories about her childhood that I'm wondering, were these delusions? Did these things actually occur? So that part's always been interesting. She's told me stories of run-ins with, like, just really kind of almost supernatural things, but when she was a child. Her family members apparently encountered similar. Who knows? I don't know anything about my grandparents, really. The ones on my mom's side I only knew when I was a baby, apparently, or met. Don't know anything about them. Not really. And on my father's side, well, he was adopted. So as far as like genetic predecessors of, you know, what came to be me, I don't really have any information. And I don't know that you can, like, I feel like you can do, like, you know how they do that 23andMe and all that kind of shit? That stuff lets you figure out, like, the likelihood of certain, like, medical conditions and stuff. But I don't think it's going to tell you anything about neurodivergency. I think it's more about, like, various types of medical issues. Not so much mental health. Unless they've upped their game since then. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. Okay, let me see here. But yeah, that's been my experience, which isn't much, honestly. But I keep hearing a lot of people on the server, and I've seen it mentioned, people I've talked to. A lot of schizoids basically talking about how they had either an uncle or an aunt or a father or mother or sister or brother or a grandfather or grandmother that were a little different, let's just say. And, you know, especially if you're talking about, like, even mother and father, but especially if you're talking about grandparents, the likelihood that they would have gotten any kind of diagnosis for anything like schizo stuff or autism stuff or even ADHD and things of that nature are highly unlikely compared to like what it is today, right? There's a lot more pressure to not be mentally different, especially if you're talking about like my parents' generation and definitely their parents. And sometimes I wonder how many like people that were neurodivergent that like essentially did everything in their power to be normal, and because they were kind of very neuronormative because that's all they had, and they became like almost indoctrinated into believing that there's something wrong with it and that needs to be fixed by their peers or family members. And then they end up living some pretty not so good lives, or sometimes being some very not so good parents to their children. Whole thing's tragic. But I wanted to know if you had family members or maybe you heard stories about family members that are no longer with us, or things of that nature. Because I've seen it too much. I've seen it too many times. I've seen it brought up too many times by a lot of different people that are schizoid. Whether they're on the autism spectrum side of things or the schizo side. They always have like a parent or a grandparent or an uncle or an aunt. Oftentimes, actually, that's sometimes the one person that they got along with or were cool with in their family. Was that other odd man out. And if you have any stories like that, I appreciate if you put them in chat. Or put them in, you can still submit on the server in the Dear Angst. It'll go to the inbox for today. If you're watching this live, if you're not, well, you're going to have to wait till the next one. But yeah, I want to hear more experiences, because this isn't something I have lived experience with very much. In any case. Here we go. And there we go. Oop. Why is that there? All right. Well, Shadow, what's up, man?
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, no. You fooled me. Fuck you. Morning. It's never a good morning.
I don't know. I'm just saying the thing you always say.
Yeah, I always say morning. I don't say good morning.
Oh.
You tricked me into saying good morning.
Haha. I win. So, got anything to say about this?
Well, I don't know if I spurred you on or if my recent comment.
Well, you're one of the people that did.
Or if it only fueled the fire, right?
Yeah, of course, fueled the fire, because I just see it too often. And like I said, I don't really have anyone on my dad's side, and the people on my mom's side, they're all like in another country. And so I didn't really have an extended family that I interacted with consistently in any like real way. So I wouldn't even know. And I'm wondering.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am with my dad's side. There's a lot of folks over there I have never met.
Mm-hmm.
There's one that is a more low-functioning autistic. Mm-hmm. And I think I met him when I was probably no older than 13. But it's been a long time, and I don't remember much of that whole trip down to not Arkansas. Kentucky. That's where I actually have a family graveyard now.
You have a family graveyard?
Yeah.
In Kentucky?
I think the oldest goes back to the Spanish-American War. It's crazy.
You know about my thing with graveyards, right? With my mom's side?
No.
I come from like a line of essentially, I guess what would be like grave or crypt keepers.
No fucking way.
Mm-hmm. Like yeah, it's funny.
That's hilarious.
No, yeah, like I had my grandfather was involved, and then there was an uncle, and then it was an uncle, and then the grandpa, and then like I think like at least, I don't know, it was something like 4 or 5, like 4 generations or something of and we still I think we still have a family member that tends to it. I don't know if it ended or it stopped, but it's a I can't remember. It's near San Jose. No, it's not that. It's not the San Jose. That one's big. It's a smaller graveyard in a smaller city.
When did you learn about that? Because I imagine that must have been like, oh wait, maybe the family blood that runs through me is actually kind of cool.
Well, I mean, that's the only cool thing. I kind of wish I learned more about just that in particular. Um, but yeah, the reason I know is because when I went there as a kid, I think I was like 10 or something. I don't remember. But when I went there, we stayed there for like what was it, like probably like 3 weeks or something, or like a month. And I only remember a few things: is getting bit by so many fucking mosquitoes. Oh my god. That like I had an allergic reaction and my hands got all like puffy. The other thing I remember is um I accidentally had an iron fall on my hand, so I burned my hand. And the other thing I remember is that the place we stayed at for most of that time neighbored that graveyard. So like essentially like I could go outside the front and then walk about 3 yards to the right and I'm in a graveyard. And so
You didn't speak to the souls when you were sleeping?
I don't think so. But um but there was a lot of stories about that stuff. My mom had stories, that uncle had stories. The different people in the family have had stories of like, taps on the shoulder, whispers in the ear while they're working, things of that nature.
Well, I can totally, it's weird how that's all like genetic and shit. Because like, obviously, look in a mirror, right? You fit that.
What?
Like if,
Come
like
on
you
now.
could fit that.
What? Like what? Well, I don't think people look like crypt keepers. All right.
All right, maybe I'm attuning some abstract concept here,
Yeah.
but like you can't tell me that you don't like somewhat at least align with the
Well, yeah,
whole
of course. Yeah.
seeking the dead souls
That's
and like
interesting. Yeah, that's interesting.
the paranoid, maybe not paranoid, maybe more like the delusional touch on the shoulder here and there,
Yeah,
and
well,
like
unless
kind of
it's an actual ghost, you never know. Or maybe I just
like
had a
come
lot
on,
of
that's like
maybe I had schizos in my
that's like
family.
so yeah, like that's like well that's what I'm going for, man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a possibility. But point is, yeah, it just I forgot. Yeah, I forgot. I hadn't mentioned that in a while, but yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I've lived for a little
imagine
bit.
if you had like a grandparent that didn't reject that and would tell you stories about it, right?
I've lived in front of a graveyard for 1 month, and all that ghost stuff's baloney. 1 month? That's it? Come on now. You need more than a month. Jeez. Well, what's funny is that I always had a lot of graveyard stuff happen because it was that, and then the family, and then for a good portion of my life, I lived across the street from a park that was previously a graveyard. They used to call it Dead Man's Park. Supposedly there was like they took everybody out of there and then they put them in this much larger graveyard. But there's stories of like them not getting every single one, so there might be some bodies that didn't make the trek still in the park. And then I remember that my friend, or like my video game buddy or whatever, when I was like in junior high and elementary school, sometimes I would stay over at his house, to play video games all night and drink soda. And I remember that his backyard was there was a gate that led past his backyard, like out of his backyard area. But past that gate was one of the largest like cemeteries like ever. There's a cemetery called Rose Hills. It's huge, huge, and his backyard was like right connected to it. And I remember I would sit and look at it from there all the time. And then when I got older, what's crazy is that I didn't know about the whole like family. I just thought it was like an uncle or something. I think it was much later that I found out that it was like actually a few generations worth. And then I even saw a video once online where where they were talking about it, like that particular graveyard. It was like some kind of Spanish news segment. Um, and yeah, and so when I was a teenager, just being the edgelord I would always be like hanging out in I would go to the two graveyards and just chill all the time. Like it was just like a chill place for me. Like I wouldn't disrespect anything. I wouldn't even go with friends because I didn't really have too many that I would want to share that with. And then, but I would
You
just
made
chill
friends
there.
with the spirits that still lingered there.
Well, I would just chilling. Like I would chill. I would sometimes like, you know, um, clean off some of them. Funny. And then sometimes I would just hang out next to them,
It
sit
runs in
on the
your blood,
grass,
man. It's
just
right there,
just sitting
man.
on grass, reading books or comics or whatever. And then like nobody would. It's so big that there wasn't. If there was any security, it's just so big. But the only portion I would hang out with, because the thing is, it's called Rose Hills, but it's just hills and hills of just you. If you go down the street, it's just like nonstop graveyard for like a good while, and most of it is just like modern graves. It's just the little plaque on the floor, and then
Yeah.
that's it. And then just a bunch of little plaques everywhere. Um, the section I would hang out with was the hang out in is the old section, so that one was like where it
Where it had
started.
like tombstones.
Oh man, that's why I liked it there. They had like the big ass angels and saints and like just big old sculptures and shit. Yeah, they just had them everywhere. Um, but the one thing that I'll yeah, and I would hang out, and there was a mausoleum there, so I would go all the way up, and I hang out. This is before I had the agoraphobia stuff too, so I couldn't do that today.
Oh, that's right. You can't even do that now, can
Yeah,
you?
I can't. Fuck me up. Scary shit. Not the graveyard, but the agoraphobia, it being
Yeah.
so big and open. I didn't have that back then when I was a
The
teen.
whole schizoid really done you in, huh?
I don't know. And then,
It's my
yeah,
belief that like the phobia thing, because for you and me, the phobia thing was a result of schizoid identity bullshit.
it could be. I don't know. But point is, I would hang out there, and I would hang out in the mausoleum. I liked reading the names, looking at the years. Sometimes I would take a picture of some of the really cool um stones. I wish I knew about the etching thing. I didn't find out about that until much later. That would have been really cool. I would have kept those. That thing where you put a paper on. You put a big old piece of paper in front of a tombstone or something, and then you just run a pencil, and then you
Oh
get the
yeah.
etchings of like the cool
Mhm.
the different ones. Some of them had really cool quotes and stuff. I remember that. Oh, but
Back
last thing
before
about this,
pictures
before so we
cameras
can,
were a thing or something,
huh?
Mr. Boomer?
What
Back
happened?
before cameras were a thing, Mr. Boomer?
No, no. I mean, I had camera, but it's still cool to have the etchings. It's just cool looking. But the last thing about this graveyard subject is the graveyard that my family did take care of. It was really really creepy. In the best way possible. It did have a crypt, small crypt. It had a bunch of graves, but like really elaborate stonework and stuff with some of them, marble pieces, all kinds of stuff. There was one that was like broken, so like you can see like it was just this weird thing. It almost looked like you can see something inside. But there was one that was a huge marble slab, and or was it marble? I can't remember. It was concrete or whatever, but it was huge, and it had a knocker on it, a big metal knocker right in the middle of the slab, and you can actually like go like this to it, and it would be like doom doom doom, and it would echo inside. I remember I used to play with it all the time. Anyway, I've never been scared of graveyards, like never, not once. Let's see here. I enjoy graveyards because you can sit there and nobody will ever bother you. They just assume you're mourning or a relative or something. Oh, that's true. That's true. Good point. I like the Mexican traditions and Dia de los Muertos stuff where you actually go to the graveyard and then like you have like a picnic next to like the person you buried, and you leave them some. You put some food on their tombstone, and then you like have a little picnic with your family or whatever. I think that's kind of wholesome.
Yeah, I don't know too much about my father's side. The only thing I know was the
Yeah,
biggest
Roland,
thing I
that's in Whittier.
know.
It's Whittier. Yeah, that's where I used to live. That's where I like grew up a long
The
time ago.
biggest takeaway from my father's side is that my I have a cousin that was more low functioning autistic,
Hmm.
and when I was like 13, I think I couldn't have been any older. We visited there for a week, and he was the kind of sort where apparently he didn't really trust a lot of people because obviously, this is even before when I grew up. So if you can imagine how not great people understood neurodivergency then,
Yeah, no
right?
joke. Yeah.
Because he was much older than me. He is easily like in his 30s when I was 13. So he didn't really trust a lot of people, but he was still like within the family. He was completely fine. He just did his own thing, whatever. But like on the first day I met him, he was really excited to show me his room.
Hmm.
And I didn't really know him. I didn't really know what he was about, and I was still really young, so I was still kind of ignorant to the world around me. Even I know
Yeah.
I was 13, but kind of give me a break here. Took me a
Yeah.
while. But my family was just really, really surprised that he was so for the idea of that because they, that apparently that didn't really happen. Even they didn't go into his room. And it was just one of those kind of odd things, right?
Yeah.
But that's the most I know about my dad's side. My mom's side, I didn't know too much, but I know more. Like I'm more connected with, like I actually had her sisters in my life. My grandma and grandpa on that side, I actually met before I was like 16, well before.
Hmm.
But it was just recently, literally last week, I had a talk with my grandmother, and she's a step grandmother,
Oh.
about my late grandfather.
Wait, your
And
biological late grandfather?
yes,
Or
and I was talking to her about some neurodivergency stuff, kind of, more self-expression and all that,
yeah.
explaining how, I've grown since the last time I really talked with her. But
Hmm.
I've never like had conversations with her too much.
Yeah.
But she was really receptive because she had been. My mom's side is like a long line of like nurses. I don't know how long, but a lot of them are nurses.
Hmm.
And that's how she was a nurse. My grandfather was also a nurse. That's how they met. But she was really receptive because she's met a lot of people in the medical field, like a lot of patients and all that. So she kind of gets the whole psychology bit
Hmm.
because she said just had to like take care of patients.
Yeah.
And she was talking to me about how she brought it up, and I know I'm talking about it on stream, but you're all strangers.
Yeah.
So she was talking about how she had never told anybody that she also suspected my grandfather was autistic, not even my mom.
Interesting.
And she told me that another great aunt, his sister, that I've received letters for many years of my life. I've met a couple of times, but I hardly remember her. That she is a diagnosed paranoid schizophrenic. And those two, when they were younger, were a little bit more close than his other brother, who grew up to be like a businessman.
Interesting.
So she kind of remarked how like I talked to her about explaining the theory that you've proposed to me, Angst, how schizo's like abstract, autistic is more concrete, and then the theory is that the neurotypical is more social connection oriented.
Interpersonal. It's in the middle of the road when it comes to all that
Yeah,
stuff.
it's not, but it's not just the middle of the road. It's a little like on the lines of how do I interact with these relationships
Well,
socially
the
around me.
social world is very middle of the road. It's very much kind of in
I
that
guess
space.
I don't know. Like it's at least there's three different points, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she was explaining how, yeah, that kind of lines up with your grandfather, because I can see him being autistic. I saw his brother as being very outgoing and literally a businessman. So, and then his sister being the schizophrenic.
Yeah.
So she was like, the things I was saying, she was already understanding and applying it to different situations instead of just outright rejecting and shutting me down.
Well, it sounds like a good person to talk to.
Yeah, no kidding. It was really eye-opening.
Do you know much? What else do you know about the schizophrenic sister? Any details?
Barely anything. I
Is
know
it-
she sends me letters. She has sent me letters for my birthday like every year.
Have you gone back to
And
read them?
I throw out all my letters.
Oh man, I bet you're regretting that one.
I mean, not really, because it's not like there were anything of note. It's not like she wrote me a paragraph. It's
Mm.
just like, oh, hey, happy birthday letter. Happy birthday,
Okay.
you.
Yeah, gotcha. Is she still around?
Yeah, she is still around. I'm
Maybe
actually considering going out to
talk.
visit
Yeah,
some
I was
more of
gonna
my
say.
mother's side since that conversation.
Yeah, it might be good to talk to her.
And then I'm more interested now in probably taking a trip to Kentucky one of these days.
Interesting.
Because I'm sure if I hang around that family graveyard, I'll meet someone. Right? It's a small town.
Well, there you go. That might be the way to go. That's really interesting because, like, yeah, like if I had like any kind of schizo spectrum family members that were still alive, I'd like surely like to talk to them.
Yeah, I would love to talk to that great aunt.
Because it's just interesting to think, like, just hear their experiences with their stuff, and then see if anything coincides with
Yeah,
your
and especially
experiences.
because I'm not entirely autistic. I have like
Yeah,
2-3 steps removed from schizophrenia with my delusional proneness,
yeah,
as
yeah.
I like to call it. And another big thing, I asked her, and it was I haven't really like talked to this about anyone else besides you fucking schizos here. But the dream stuff, I asked my grandmother about my grandfather and the dreams, and
Uh-huh.
she actually told me, it's funny that you mentioned that because he dreamed nearly every night himself, and he would tell me about his dreams all the time.
I'm guessing they were probably pretty vivid too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she didn't talk too much about it, but just
Uh,
that alone, right?
I come from a line of crypt keepers and shit, and you come from a line of dream walkers. Dream walkers. Fucking dream walker
Well,
family
I don't
line.
know if it's Dreamwalkers, right? It's just the one.
I know, but it's just funny to think that there could be multiple dream walkers in various generations, and the government skip, and maybe that'd be kind of interesting.
But on to like the whole family ties and lies title you got there.
Yeah,
My father is very disconnected from his family, just entirely.
yeah,
He ran away from home when he was 14, so you can kind of figure out why.
yeah.
My mom is completely shut down. I don't know why, but neurodivergency talk as a whole, she still even shuts me down about the whole autism thing, even now. Like just the other maybe month, I tried bringing it up to her,
Oh,
and she shut me down. But I was just like, no, 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 you don't get to shut me down.
good.
I know way fucking more than you do about this shit. You don't get to shut me down. So I kind of stood my ground on that.
Good. That's real good.
But I don't know why she's she had a lot of emotional dysregulation herself, because obviously step grandmother, so her parents divorced, and she had some problems on her family side as well. But she had a lot of emotional dysregulation and outbursts, which I can kind of see in my brother.
Yeah.
And it was after she started smoking weed that she started to like get that under control and kind of do a complete 180. And that's what's helped her mellow out her different anxieties and stuff. But like she didn't go psychological route. She went unintended marijuana. So I guess that didn't really make her more open
Self-medicated.
to the. Yeah, it didn't make her more open to the idea of
Yeah, yeah.
neurodivergency.
Yeah, because she found something that made her feel better, and that was good enough.
Yeah.
I was gonna say too. Well, I do want to get to the questions. I mean, some of the few answers, and then we can talk a little bit about them and stuff. Let me get to them here, but that's really interesting. That's really interesting. Thank you for sharing all that. Let me see here. Oh, what is this doing? Sorry. Discord's being an ass. 1 second. I don't know why it's being such a dick. Just now, too. Come on, Discord. 1 second. Oh my god. What are you doing? I can't even read the things because like for some reason Discord just went completely gray. It's just gray now.
I think that means you need to restart Discord.
No, but it's weird because I can still see the stuff. Hold on. It's really weird.
Is it not responding?
It's
Or
like
is it like all weird?
It's like it's in like if I move my cursor over it, it looks like the stuff is there, like it's detecting what's supposed to be in the window, but it's not like actually visually showing up. It's funny. I don't even know what that would be called, but because it's
I
not
mean,
like.
as long as you're not showing it on stream, you can disable streamer mode.
Well, it's not the streamer mode, but here I'm gonna have to like, I'm gonna have to stop Discord and jump back on because otherwise.
Yeah, just restart it.
Hold on. Stupid thing. Hold on. Let's see here. All right. Looks like we're good here. Pop this back up. Hopefully it'll stop being a dick. And there we go. All right, cool. We're back. I don't know why it does that. It's really, really strange. Okay. So, let's see the first one here. All right. Here we go. Dear Angst, my uncle was diagnosed schizoid, and his mother had schizophrenia. Those are the only. That's really interesting. Those are the only diagnosed conditions I know of in my family. My own mother, a long time ago, thought me and her were both autistic. But since I started identifying as autistic myself, she now denies this. I think she has some autistic traits, but I find it difficult to think of her as autistic when she shows so little respect for my own autistic traits. On the other hand, she shares some of my schizoid traits as well. For example, intense self-reliance, superiority complex, insatiable loneliness, and a preference for solitary activities. She's primarily narcissistic, though. My dad sometimes showed a lack of social awareness that reminds me of my own autistic social difficulties. My parents were never diagnosed with any kind of neurodivergence or serious mental illness, but they were oddballs and misfits, and I do think there is a hereditary element to these things. Interesting. That the part that I find most interesting is saying that you had a diagnosed schizoid uncle, and that had a mother with schizophrenia. That's really interesting. Really interesting stuff. I mean, I've heard so many stories of schizoids on the server, or people that I talk to telling me that, like, yeah, I had a aunt or an uncle or a parent that was like an undiagnosed schizotypal or schizophrenic person, because like undiagnosed as in like they never went, but you know they were dealing with positive symptoms, or they were dealing with like all kinds of delusions and shit and paranoia. but like they never went because of sometimes they don't trust the institutions themselves. But it's really interesting. Like I knew one person that one of the other people that I knew that was kind of one of those autismo schizos. That person, um, their father was an undiagnosed um, kind of a schizotypal person. They said that their father believed that like they could feel like energies over objects and things when they put hand over it, and that they would like make decisions based on that sometimes. So if something didn't like have the right energy and they could feel it, they would say they could feel it. They wouldn't like get it. They wouldn't get the item or the thing, um, and things of that nature. I have another friend that has like a mother that has issues as well of similar types and other issues. Like it's just really interesting how common that is. Kind of really lends to some of this stuff I'm always talking about.
That kind of stuff is rough. Like, there's a couple of times, and to be honest, it was only last week. Every time I talk about something, it's always, oh, it was just 3 days ago. It was just last week. Oh,
Yeah,
everything's recent for me. It's always
yeah,
a journey. But this event was like a year ago. But what I was referring to last week was I like started realizing the depths to which my paranoia actually go, because I don't know if I gaslighted myself. I don't know if I was ignorant to it, but like a lot of the stuff that I've done, like my inferiority complex, what that's about. I didn't realize that I developed my inferiority complex. I I thought I developed it because of mounting expectations for my family, and I was autistic. That's how I thought it went about. But in reality, it's not necessarily that I had to meet all of these expectations my family wanted me to meet, but it was later in life that I started to develop it, because I began to have these schizoid inclinations of being othered by not just people, but like the universe itself,
yeah,
right? Like you're the corruption in the matrix,
yeah,
but like that corruption is fine unless you drop your mask. And then it's like it's not just people that like turn on you, but like creation itself like becomes evil and twisted and wants to like remove you. And I didn't realize, like, I thought it was all, oh, my family expected a lot from me. And I never, it took me, like, I'm fucking 23 and I've had this for years now. How did I not realize that I genuinely was paranoid? Because, like, when I expressed myself, I thought the universe would then try to, like, kill me by any means necessary, including perverting and twisting the people even around me to being demons. But I had no idea it went that deep. And
yeah.
there's like certain times where like I'll just be like, there was one time I was at a McDonald's and it was closed because they were renovating, but I didn't know that and Google didn't know that.
Uh-huh.
And I drove around the parking lot once and I was just like, well, that kind of sucks. I was hungry.
Yeah,
And I was trying to like put on my phone the way to the next McDonald's because I didn't know the town at the time. And I don't know, I just had this like really bad like fear just shoot me through the neck. I was just like, I should not be here kind of feeling. And it was awful. But like, you know, it's not like there's an evil spirit out the gaming. It's not like there's a monster under the bed.
yeah, yeah. Well, maybe there
But
is.
just
I'm kidding.
every so often, like
Yeah,
I'm going more tangents. So stop you whenever you feel like it.
yeah. Go ahead, finish up, and then because there are some chats I wanted to mess with.
Yeah. There was a period of my life when I was like 20 when I had like the most delusional proneness when I was going through, and I'd see just random memes about like creepy pastas, and I'll be out and about, like I'll get home from work and I was still working night shift, and I'll just have to like run inside to my house that I lived alone at the time, because I'll just have these horrible paranoias about the place that I grew up in for fucking 20 years. Or no, not 20 years, more like 15. But just all of a sudden now it's just like being twisted by my own paranoia. And it was I had no idea. I was so completely oblivious.
It's interesting to think that, like, if your situation is one where you're dealing with kind of both the tism and the schizo stuff, it's interesting to think that, like, the tism thinking is kind of like maybe part of what keeps you grounded, huh?
I don't know, because maybe hairs on my arm are standing. Maybe the tism stuff just changes it into like, oh, I feel spines on my arms when I think about.
I know. I'm just trying to think of, like. Now, I'm not talking about the psychosis stuff. I'm talking more about like the way you think about stuff. Because you're thinking the way you think about stuff is very autistic.
Yeah, but I can very much tell. I've dabbled a lot in learning about autism, and it's very, very much very much rooted in all of it, but it's still very, like, it touches on a lot of overarching concepts that apply to schizo thinking.
Yeah, no, of course. It's just interesting because, like, it's just interesting to think that, like, because that's one of the things I always think about. It's like, okay, what does an autistic person with some level of schizophrenia look like? Not schizo-spectrum thinking, but schizophrenia as in psychosis, like delusions, hallucinations. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Like, I kind of like feel like you might be like an example of that, and a high, level 1 autistic person or whatever that has psychosis issues.
No shit.
Yeah, and so it's really interesting. Let me read some chats here, because Don had put one up a while ago. He put some interesting stuff. Said, recently went on a tour, to cemeteries, Charleston, South Carolina, for photos and story ideas, Magnolia Cemetery, Negan, on Victorian-era awesome monuments and crypts. Planning to go back. Camping would be cool. And then, I guess this is in response to something you said there, Shadow. As far as delusional taps on the shoulder, some of that shit's real, Shadow. The house I lived in from 9 to 11ish had a ghost that rolled down the stairs frequently. Experienced by all my family.
Yeah, on that, like, my mom swears up and down when I was like 1, like when I was baby. We had a basement in my original house I lived with her at, that and also my dog every so often I would like baby babble to like something underneath the stairs, and my dog would bark at it. She swears up and down that happened, and I don't know whether or not that's true, but take that as you will.
I don't want to. No, I'm not going to say stuff because I don't want to make you paranoid.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Angst. Before she told me that story, my first nightmare that introduced me to the concept of demons, that like is like the basis of like my nightmares, was me drowning in a pool of like darkness in that basement into like an underside where it held a demon. So like, I'm just saying, man, before she told me the story, I was already kind of there.
Yeah, it's just kind of interesting. Like the thought of like, that little shadow man that you talk about is just like, it's something you found down there. Just hanging out with you.
Tell me your thing, because there's nothing you can say that's worse than what I can create.
Oh no, that was what I was thinking. Like,
okay.
Yeah, that like it like,
literally, I got to it before you did.
Yeah, it's that like it's like an actual entity. But I don't want to feed into that. That's not good. Healthy.
Thanks. I've already been through that.
Yeah, I know.
For how many years now?
Like an actual ghost or demon or creature, something that latched onto you when you were a baby. So
Fuck it. Like
interesting.
you, like I've already had this
Yeah,
discussion in
sure,
my head.
sure,
God
sure.
knows how many
If
times.
my luck has probably happened to me.
What,
Yeah.
you think you're cursed or haunted or something?
Oh no, not really. I
Oh,
just I don't know. It's coming in joke.
oh, okay, gotcha, gotcha. Okay, so Mitsu had said, I'm still not quite caught up on this. Would you say PPD is part of schizospec? You know what's interesting is that like PPD, for me, it would like depend, right? Like somebody could be schizospec or autistic and have like what would be considered PPD, right? It comes down to what are they paranoid about, right? What are they paranoid about? Is it people? Is it things beyond people? How meta is the fear or the paranoia? Where is it stemming from, and what is it directed at? Um, so that part's what's interesting, right? Like that's the question I would ask, right? Like, is it like what was the paranoia grounded in?
Can I tell you what my paranoia is grounded in?
Yeah,
As
sure.
someone who might also have BPD,
Yeah,
but like mine's mostly like a few things: people, like illnesses and body stuff, and like um, wondering if I'm like actually real or like a simulation, or if the people around me are real.
you get like paranoia about that, like
Yeah,
anxiety
like
and stuff. You,
I get like I don't know. I get like kind of this dread feeling or like anxiety about like the people around me not being real or like
you have
not
moments where you
actually
start
like having a
believing it.
consciousness. Yeah, sometimes. Like but not like I don't know. I
Like,
wouldn't
does it
say I
ever turn into
believe in it too
delusion?
heavily. Not really. No, I wouldn't say that. I'd say it's mostly just like a thought I would have that'd be like something I would kind of obsess on, but not always like fully buy into.
But it would
I
usually be
don't know.
something of that nature.
Yeah, but like I don't know. I'd say like
Wither said
people paranoid of people is
he's
like
got that
my
solipsism. That's funny.
no, but like being paranoid of people is probably my worst because like I don't know. I don't trust most people, but I don't know.
Like, are you like hyper vigilant about their actions to see if they're doing something that could possibly be like hostile
Oh,
or negative
if
toward
I
you?
ever have to like go to the gas station and stuff like that, I'm like constantly like looking 180 degrees around me. Like I'm always like keeping an eye on people. Like I make eye contact with people just so they know like I'm aware of them. Like I'm paranoid about like being attacked and stuff like that. But like I think that's
And that's
also
not
like
like,
related to like my trauma of
I was
like
gonna
being
say,
like
like, is that
robbed and
also
stuff
some
like
like
that.
PTSD stuff too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine. Um, Melee said, me too. I wonder what part of me keeps me staying grounded and not completely falling to the schizo side, to be honest. Yeah, I know what you mean. I def have traits of PPD, but that's more inherited, I guess. Yeah, who else in your family had PPD? What would you say? Interesting. And what was it centered around? For sure, Biomom. Yeah, I know. But what was her like diagnosed but 99% not diagnosed but 99% sure. Yeah, I remember you telling me stories, but wasn't hers like a religious paranoia, or was it a person-based paranoia? Do you remember? Like, was it religious? Yes, but also people-based. That's so interesting too. Because like, yeah, I know you mentioned it before, so I don't think it was paranoia about pretty much everything. I know you've mentioned it before, but like on wherever, but like I think like you deal with that, right? Like you deal with certain types of themes and ideas like trigger paranoia, like severe paranoia. So that's interesting. Interesting. Yeah, yeah. Thankfully, you're not paranoid of everything. But I think you're a little too indifferent about a lot of things to be paranoid about them. You have to care about them first, right? Anyway, oh yeah, I have a slinky. I'm actually quite happy about this because my wife, she's a sweetie. She she went to this like it's called a swap meet. It's like a flea market for some more American term for it. And I had said a long time ago that I wanted a metal slinky. Not because if you go to the store, you mostly just find all the plastic ones and stuff, and those fucking suck. Fuck the plastic ones; they're trash. I wanted a metal slinky, and she didn't just find a metal slinky. She found the giant slinky. So it's actually cool because it's wider than a normal slinky. Because the normal slinky's the diameter's a little smaller, and it's actually longer, much longer than a regular slinky, by like a good chunk, at least that much more. So it's longer, and the reason I wanted a metal slinky specifically is because it makes this sound. I don't know if it'll catch it, but can you hear that? Yeah, it increase the gain.
Professional streamer over.
What? You hear that?
Professional streamer over here.
Why? Because I'm playing with
A slinky.
No, but that sound.
No, I think. No, I just think it's kind of cute that you're playing with a slinky.
Whatever. I got my inner child. But anyway, can you guys hear that or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that metal sound. I really like it. And then it feels very different, and it's much springier than a plastic one. Like, way springier. And then on top of that, it's heavier, and it just feels different on my fingertips and stuff. And it reflects on the light really cool. So it catches the light, and it looks kind of more like psychedelic when you shake it. So, yeah. Where is it? A bracelet?
I need that. It seems like a perfect fidget toy.
Oh, no, it's really good. It's really good. Just the only thing I don't recommend, especially with the metal ones, I've hurt myself a few times in the past. Don't, like, put this down your arm. Like, you're like, oh, look, I have a bracelet. Don't put it all the way down your arm, unless you have shaved arms or very short hair. If you have hairy arms, don't do it. That shit hurts because, like, all your hairs get caught between the little metal parts.
Oh, they get ripped out.
And then, like, if you try to take it off, it starts ripping off, like, arm hair and stuff. Hurts.
Oof.
Yeah, because, like, it's just... It has something to do with the metal ones. Because, like, with the plastic, the hairs would kind of slip. Like, as you pull it, like, the hairs would just kind of slip out. But because it's metal, it's, like... And heavier, it'll actually, like, catch the hairs on your arms. And, like, you have to, like... Yeah, it hurts. So that's why I'm only doing it, like, up to here. But even up to here... Oh, fuck!
Dumbass.
Yeah, even up to just my wrist, because I have some hair right here. Dude, it just pulled, like, 3 hairs out of my arms. That shit hurts. One time, a long time ago, I was playing with a metal one at some store or something, and I put it all the way down my arm right here. Like, and I was like, cool! And then I was like... It was like a demo or something. And then I started taking it off. Dude, it took me, like, I swear, like, it felt like a good, like, 3 or 4 minutes to get it out. Because, like, it was just, like, fuck. Like, and I was like, shit, how do I get it off without pulling fucking hairs? And I had to, like, shuffle it off, sort of. And then, like, I had to, like, stretch it out in my arm. Like, out.
You had to, like, move each piece individually.
No, like, I had to kind of... The way I figured it out is I had to get the top and go as far as I could up. And then, like, take off some of it. And then, yeah. And then take off more of it like that. Because, man, if you try to take it off together, fuck that. You're going to lose, like, a bunch of hairs.
I wonder, like, what other materials would be good to surround a slinky in. Like,
I don't know. All right. Oh, 19K channel points. Damn. Oh, damn. You have a lot of channel points.
Only 19?
Yeah.
You
Oh,
have more if
wait,
you watch streams.
they've redeemed the points for me to be mean to them.
Masochistic Bottom wants you to be mean to them.
Who?
Melee.
Oh, okay.
A masochistic Bottom.
Okay. I didn't know.
You can get me to be mean to you for free. That's, you don't have to pay for that.
Yeah. Let me think. How can I be mean to Mitsu? Oh, fuck. Well, you have to tell me, Withers, what I have to say. Oh, my God.
Oh, they're all doing it now.
Yeah, they're using
Hive
them
mind
up.
mentality.
Yeah, for real. Getting mobbed. What's mean? What can I say mean?
Talk shit about puppets or clowns or something.
No.
Dolls. Yeah, do that.
No, I can't think of it because I've come up with good ones before Melee, and I'm definitely not going to play on their PPD. But
listen, they asked you to be mean, so get them where it hurts.
All right.
Because if you get them where it hurts, maybe they'll stop.
Let's see here.
Punch them right in the digital balls.
Hurt me, bitch.
Melee, you literally are.
Man, I can't. I have
fuck.
Hold on. I have to think of something good.
You're both of those things.
I was just gonna, but that's not that mean. It's more sad.
Well, they didn't pay me to be mean to them.
Okay. No. I'm talking about me being mean because I was gonna say.
Oh. The thing that I don't know you were thinking about.
No, I was gonna say. Hold on. Stop. It's because when you talk and it derails me.
Yeah, because.
Shut up.
So anyway, with this.
Is he ready to say something nice, or did he get over his
No, he's trying to think, but he doesn't really have anything.
No,
so
I just stop. Shut up, dude. Fuck, man. I have ADHD. I can't do this. Give me a second here. Because Melee's really, really picky about me being mean, so I have to be actually mean.
Anytime.
And this will only make sense to them, probably. Hey, Melee, the only reason you're so afraid of the end of the world is because your internal one ended since childhood.
Damn.
What did that mean?
That is a pretty meta insult.
Was it really that mean?
It is to them. For them, it is. Because that plays on their PPD.
But just make a new one.
Let's see here. Okay, so then, yeah, they don't have to be a bottom to be masochistic.
Yeah, but they are
a masochistic top.
I'm a bottom and masochistic, so.
See, I told you.
Well, there could be masochistic tops. You never know.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Get creative. All right. No, Withers, if you want me to say something nice about myself, it says right there, you tell me something nice to say about myself. You have to say it. You have to tell me what I have to say. You have to type it on the chat.
You have to say, that.
Yeah, like you type it in chat, and then I have to say it. And the nicer the thing it is that you make me say about myself, the more it hurts me, because I don't like saying nice things about myself.
I didn't say your masochism wasn't non-sexual, Melee. The fact that you think it is means you're dirty-minded, and maybe it is sexual.
What kind of bottom is... But you said a bottom. No one's
Am?
a metaphorical bottom.
Yeah?
No,
What?
first a taking dick.
I'm an autistic non-sex haver. Do you think anything I say is
Yeah,
sexual?
but a
No.
bottom and a top is referring to it's sex
fuck?
specific.
Yeah, but
Bottom
when
gets
I say
railed.
bottom, it does not.
No, well, sorry, we're not working on your definition. That's an
You're not
inherently
sorry.
sexual.
You just lied to me.
So what you're telling me is that there's somebody that's the masochist and they want to get dick down. That's what you're telling me. And
In the
that's not
same
the
way,
case.
in the same way, someone who has sex can be a virgin. Someone who is not sexual.
Wait. Someone
be
who
a bottom.
has sex can be a virgin? Oh, because
Yeah,
they can
'cause
have
it's an
like oral
insult.
sex?
Yeah. No, because it's like an insult. It's not like the literal definition of the word. It's
Oh,
the dictionary.
Yeah, but that doesn't
version.
work for this because that's not like a common parlance or like a some kind of
Calling
like.
someone a bottom is definitely an insult that has nothing to do with sex anymore.
Nobody says that.
That's
Nobody
fair.
says that as
Plenty
an
of people
insult.
say that.
No, they don't.
Yes,
Nobody
they do.
They say it as a
You're
joke.
not terminally online. Fuck you.
Yes, I am. And they don't just. Nobody says, man, you're such a fucking bottom. No, they call you like a cuck or something. They don't call you a bottom.
No.
The fuck?
No.
Nobody
just
says
wrong
that
here.
as an insult.
Nobody.
Or
you
as a
know says
compliment. Hey, man. Oh, bro, you're such a top. No one's saying that.
That might be said in gay circles. I don't know. I can't.
Yeah,
that. Only
yeah,
bottoms
but-
would call each other.
Yeah, but
top
in
as
gay
a
circles,
joke,
they're saying
compliment.
that because like the personality fits the type of gay
Right.
man that
Yeah,
would
yeah.
be a bottom or a top. Not, and it's an assumption, but it's still specific to getting dick down. That's hilarious.
Why does
Anyway,
it always we turn into this when I'm here? Like,
Listen,
I don't know.
I didn't bring sex into this. That was all you
it's
people.
because you bring your perversions to my. Stop bringing your
Yeah, I
perversions
bring my
into my.
perversions.
Yeah, stop
Hey,
bringing your perversions into my
You
wholesome
literally-
stream.
you
You
literally
sick fuck.
like do
Yeah,
we need to
okay.
talk about how
No,
interested
let's
you are
move
in
on.
like
Let's
the
move
nature
on.
of sex and the fact that you
Let's
work
move
at a
on.
sex
You know what? Let's
shop
move on.
that just
Okay, we've
sold
had
you
enough.
sex?
We've had enough of your disgusting, immoral.
Angst sold
Talk,
people
alright.
sex back in the day.
I did not do that. I was never a prostitute. Okay.
You worked at a sex shop.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir. Okay, I was a choir boy.
Altar boy. Altar boy Angst.
No, choir boy. It's
No,
different.
whichever.
I was in
No.
the choir. Altar boys don't sing in the choir necessarily.
Uh,
No, I don't want to be an altar boy, because then I really would end up being a bottom.
What? You got along really well with the
Anyway,
crash? I'm
That's
assuming,
really
right?
fucked up. I shouldn't make jokes about that because I hate that shit. Anyway, okay, so next one here. I gotta finish these. Dear,
But if I keep
hold on, shut up. Well, I'll just mute you. Dear Angst, my mom's family is full of borderlines, bipolars, narcs, and 1 or 2 schizophrenics.
God
Nice.
damn.
My dad's family is full of OCD. Depression runs in both families. I don't think I'd be a Zoid without patented propriety blend of schizo genes. That's hilarious. I like that. I'm actually gonna steal that. A patented propriety blend of schizo genes.
it's so good.
Yeah, propriety blend. I only have the premium schizo genes. The most premium, high quality, high tier. Mental illness. Let me see here.
Only the most pure.
Yeah, the most pure, untouched, beautiful, glowing, pristine of mental illness.
I'm a fucking mutt of mental illness.
You're just a Muppet.
True.
How do you get from mutt to muppet?
No, I just want to call you a Muppet. It's funny.
Fuck
Anyway.
you.
Muppets are
Piss
cool.
yourself in your sleep.
Muppets are cool. What's wrong with that? I like Muppets. It ain't easy being green, you know? All right.
Either I'm a muppet as an insult, or I'm a muppet and you like Muppets, so that makes me disgusted. Like, it's a lose-lose for me.
Yeah. No. The reason I like Muppets is because they're stupid. So there you go. Let me see here. Dear Angst, let's see. A grandparent with schizophrenia. Another one who unalived themselves. Depression, maybe? That was ages ago. Another one who certainly had some kind of malignant PD. And another one who was just super anxious but otherwise super nice. Both parents with super obvious PD traits. Why do you ask? This question is making me paranoid. Sorry. Now, the bot took too long. Oh, no, it didn't delete your message. You're good. I'm sorry that the question made you paranoid. It just, a part of the question was about, like, trying to think about your own families and, you know, thinking about what components might be there. Kind of led to your own either neurodivergency stuff or maybe some mental illness stuff and things like that. It's just an interesting topic.
Yeah, it's surprising that when you get past the parents and you start realizing that your family, like, shit kind of
It's
either runs in your family line or there are aspects of it
it would.
you've inherited that kind of culminate into you being diagnosed with it, right?
Or some variation. Yeah, but it's interesting because, like, I would imagine, like, okay, like, let's just say somebody that's like a, I don't know, like a level 1, level 2 autistic person or something, and then they have like children, and then their children have children. I mean, just because you're a high functioning or level 1 or whatever they call it now, autistic person doesn't mean that your gene's gonna kick in the same way. Like, you might get like a low functioning child. You know what I mean? Like, or lower functioning, or even more autistic sort of kid, or even less, you know? So, like, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody that's like more schizo-spectrum to the point where they would be considered more like schizotypal could have, or you know, paranoid schizophrenia or something, could have like a kid that's would be like, you know, level 1 schizo-spectrum and be more of a schizoid, or maybe just you know, or maybe, yeah, you know, stuff like that. Like, I don't think it spreads.
Or you can just have everything besides everything that makes you normal.
Yeah, I doubt there's too many. I doubt there's too many like autistic people out there that don't, like, they were the first autistic person ever in their family line ever. Like, that's not. There was a branch somewhere, like some.
Or like you'll have like kind of quote unquote autistic traits, right? So if you have enough of them, right, like collect them like fucking gym badges,
like
when
Pokemon,
DNA's being created,
like Digimon.
Like, you can be like OCD can run in your family to varying degrees, and then you could have, like, say, I don't know, you develop a speech impediment when you were very young, so that kind of isolates you from your peers.
I like
and
that.
Then
yeah.
You'll have, I don't know, maybe what's the most other autistic shit? Maybe you'll have ADHD on another side.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Kind of just add shit to the pool, right? Kind of isolates you from the people around you, makes you that much more.
That's how I end up.
Different.
So you end up with guys like me too, the ADHD schizo-spectrum person.
Right.
Yeah.
I have narcissists in my family.
In your family, or you?
Yeah.
Like you like
my family.
Well, at least you didn't pick up. You didn't get those too much.
I don't know. Like,
oh no, not at all.
I think before I was like maybe more of a covert narcissist.
Oh, interesting.
But then Schizoid beat you down and said nope.
Flop.
What do you mean beat me down? Like, covert, like, narcissists are really like kind of like down on themselves in a weird way. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no.
I don't know how to
Narcissists are
explain it.
super insecure, super fragile.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Covert's just like different than like the overt type, you know.
Yeah.
I imagine a narcissist becoming schizoid is essentially just having a demon beat you until the edge of death, and you're just like, okay, I'm not narcissist anymore. You can stop, and then they don't stop.
I don't think it works that way.
Yeah, but it's funnier to imagine that.
Okay. One more. I got the last one here. Dear Angst, I am certain I inherited from my father's side. Most of the family is ND in some ways, I think. My grandmother is a stern woman to a fault, an absolute perfectionist. Maintaining relationships with her is very difficult. I have a backdoor to her softer side as her grandson, with an excellent mask, and it is still a challenge to talk with her. I last spoke with her about half a year ago. His brother I don't know that well, but his career choice was long-distance expeditions to northern Canada, often solo. Excellent choice for schizoid. Not so good for the ex-wife and the kid he ignored. I haven't seen him in a
Like,
decade. His sister, I know the least. She moved down to the country. I have seen her once or twice in my life. My father is not my father anymore. I'm certain he's a sociopathic narcissist. A bit too many memories to go there. He's a terrifying man, rarely physically abusive, but he made sure to break you. His career choice was a helmsman on a large freezer trawlers, which voyage about a month at a time. It's a second in command position, and the men there feared him. We're talking about pretty hard sailors here. My mother got him to use his position to get me a job on the ship for one summer between high school and college. He hated it. I had definitely invaded some sort of safe space there. He made sure to never talk with me. When the guy that got my cabin after me complained he was probably getting a badly cleaned cabin after a kid, it wasn't. He hadn't seen it yet. I think it was just jest. Only time I've seen him lose it completely. He rushed me and choked me against the wall, berating me for not having cleaned the cabin properly. That's pretty much when we stopped speaking now that I think of it. He just dropped me while shaking and left. I think he knew he fucked up. He couldn't deny it to himself anymore. But anyways, this is long enough, so I'll stop here. Sorry if it didn't match the question properly. No, that was fucking fascinating shit. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Crazy story.
Yeah, no, that's pretty wild shit. Interesting though. I hope you. I'm glad to hear that maybe you didn't pick up some of that anger. Hopefully, that's not something you got to. You know, it's nice when certain really bad things skip a generation, and you're not the one that gets it. Oh, look, my Discord all disappeared again. I don't know why it does that.
I need to research more into narcissism.
Oh, yeah.
I've never believed my father to be narcissistic because he's never been physically abusive in any capacity
Yeah, but
whatsoever.
narcissists they don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I meant like psychologically abusive is a little bit harder to spot. So it's
Yeah.
right. So you got that going for it, and I want to say he in a way does care about other people. It's just that he doesn't
Narcissists
realize
care
he's
about
hurting
people.
them.
Yeah, they still care about
Do they?
people.
Yes.
Well, I
They're
don't
just
know.
real
I don't know
assholes a lot of
narcissism.
times.
Well,
I don't know.
really, yeah, you gotta do some reading.
Because what I hear about narcissism and what what
No.
little I've tried reading about it, it's mostly a lot of them are sociopaths.
All
The
you hear
others
about is
use
malignant
people-
narcissists. That's the problem.
Yeah, the
Like,
other
you only
ones
hear about malignant
only
ones.
see people as fuel because they think
But they don't see
relationships
people as fuel.
mechanical.
They use people for fuel. But they don't see people as fuel. It's not like
But
they're-
yeah,
That's more like antisocial personality
Yeah.
to use people as fuel. But like a narcissist uses people as fuel as far as like their attention.
yeah, they see their attention as fuel, and then
well,
people that
this
give
is
them the
furthering
attention
the fact
they
that I
want.
need to research more on narcissism. Right?
People that people that feed them, that make them feel safe and secure by praising them and stuff, and basically just holding up their ego are the people that they will become more affectionate toward. But then as soon as that person is not doing that, or they're actually taking it away from them, then they'll kind of turn on a dime on that person.
I mean, well, yeah, turn on the dime. I know that, right? But I've never,
once the person
never
says,
been really connected with my father. I've never really given him praise for anything, because if I give him praise for it, then he takes that and runs a mile and be like, "Oh, you're praising me? Well, now I can degrade you because you're not living up to my expectations, right?" So I stopped praising him.
Yeah, like my
Crazy.
like my dad, like I would say, like based on his behavior and what I've kind of noticed and I thought about and kind of studied in my head, I would say he's like more of a vulnerable narcissist. So those people you couldn't even tell, like they're not like what you would imagine a narcissist would be like, or people imagine. A vulnerable narcissist a lot of the times will be like the perpetual victim. And so essentially anytime they make mistakes, it's everyone else's fault. And it was beyond their control. They just don't take responsibility for things that make their egos feel depleted and bad. And
I mean, my
they're
father's not
constantly
like that.
Huh?
My father's not like that.
No, I know that's my dad. I'm just saying my
Yeah.
dad's more of a vulnerable
Okay.
narcissist. So like yeah, like he would just never take the blame for anything. Like whether it was from my
Yeah.
mom or from parents, it was always like you are doing this to me. This is something that it's being done to me, even though everyone around them actively understands. Like, no, you fucked up. Like, you're the one that didn't pay the bill. You're the one that fucked up. You know, why is everyone, on my case? Everyone's turning on me. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. You did this. If you would
he
have done this,
perceived
if you would have
criticism
done
as an
that.
attack on their like being,
Yeah, yeah. And then they get like, yeah. And then he's like a people pleaser. So, but like that's how he gets it. Like he likes getting positive attention by like people pleasing, but he'll people please to the point of like lies. So he'll promise things that he can't keep. So he'll promise this and he'll promise that, and he likes the praise from promising things or saying he's going to do things. But then ultimately, there are things he can't do realistically, or he's just not competent enough to do. And then when the thing doesn't happen and they try to call him out on it, it'll turn into like, well, I would have done it, but you did this. Or, oh, it would have been done, but this thing happened. It's not my fault. It's this thing's fault. And it's always just like that. It was just like
right.
broken promises, like left and right. But with excuses. It's just broken promises and excuses all the time.
Yeah.
Like, so that's how he got my mom to like leave essentially the country that she grew up in to live with him here, because he promised her, a better life, a home, all this stuff. Like he made all these promises, and it never happened. And it's ultimately what led to their divorce. That and other horrible things, but yeah, it was just nothing but empty promises. And so yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But
I can never tell because, like, for all that it's worth, like, there's a lot of things that I don't see as connected, that kind of like tangential. Like, there's a problem here, but I can't articulate what it is. But I know that there is, and then there'll be like very sparse blow-ups, like explosions, where it's just like, okay, now this is actually fucked up. But I've never been able to tie any of the pieces together, because if it weren't for those pieces, he'd be a very upstanding and honorable man, to be honest, if it weren't for those little quirks. Like, there's a lot of things that he does that I would respect in someone, but just for some reason on him, it doesn't work.
yeah.
I don't know.
Mm.
So did anybody play the Against the Rain video game?
Nobody cares. I don't know what you're
No.
talking about. All right, but I do gotta end the stream here because it's 8:30. I usually like to end it
I think
there.
that's a very good sign that the stream is done, though.
Yeah. Weather starts bringing up a video game. Let's see here. Oh, I missed saying something mean to you, Sarah and Void. I just saw that.
Yeah, say something mean.
Okay. Let me think.
So anyway, Withers, what about that game?
Shut up, dude.
I just wanted to
Stop.
know if anybody
know,
played
no,
it.
shut up. He's just. I can't believe Withers.
We'll talk in a
respond.
minute when he's done with his little stream.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, it's just low hanging fruit, man.
I know it is. You're low hanging fruit. All right, let me see here. Okay.
Oh, you know I'm low hanging fruit.
All right.
I thought he was the not low hanging.
No. I got mass.
Oh my
no,
god, I gotta like mute you guys because I can't fucking think. I can't think with you guys saying stupid shit. Like, shut up. Trying to come up with something good here. Damn, it's hard.
A good mean thing to say.
A good mean thing to say, because I don't like doing just like, oh, you're fucking stupid, fucking,
Yeah, I know.
I'm
stupid.
trans, so you can make
Boring.
fun of that.
You have what?
No, but that's lame.
No,
I'm
that's
trans. You
no,
guys know
yeah,
that.
that's low hanging
That's like
fruit.
making fun of me because I'm autistic. Like that's
well,
not like that's not even funny. But it's not insulting either because it's
yeah,
just
it's
like
just kind of
okay,
like
and
whatever. No. Hold on.
I'm trying to bait you.
No, it's more like I kind of wanted to say more like I don't understand why someone like you would be so paranoid of people since you're not even worth noticing.
Goddamn, son.
god damn. I was like, okay, if it
Damn.
wasn't for the trans, it's definitely gonna be the paranoia.
That hurts. Thanks.
You're welcome. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it at all.
No. It's all good.
There you
It's
go.
true.
No, it's not. It's not true at all. I'm just saying it because it's
Angst,
me.
you gotta get rid of that.
I'm
You
joking,
fucking
Yeah, I
negative
know.
word.
That's not good for mental health support. I really do gotta get rid of that.
X on here
It's a
says
joke.
something mean
I
and
know,
immediately
I know,
has
it's
to
a
man
joke.
the
Well,
fucking
because like I have
depression
to sit there
suicide
and think,
hotline.
and I'm just trying to think like what's actually mean. That's kind of mean.
Melee, why do
honestly.
you like people being mean to you? It
Huh?
reaffirms your sense of
Makes him
self, so you can go back
makes
to
him
being
feel
a hermit
alive.
and give up on people or something?
To me?
Mhm. They secretly use it as fat material.
You say that
What the
right
fuck?
as me like talked about being a masochist.
Yeah. Also, it's funny. There's nothing I could say to Melee that they haven't said about themselves, like on a consistent basis.
Yeah, but hearing it being validated by someone that is like actually, within a certain boundary of trust is way more impactful.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys want me to be mean. I can be mean. I just gotta think about
Yeah, but I don't
I
trust
think
you
it's
enough for
I
that,
think
right?
it's
So it
funny.
doesn't work
I
on
used
that.
to.
I don't give a shit.
I used to. The reason I got okay, like decent. I'm not that great, but decent at saying mean things is because when I was like younger, I used to kind of like think of really mean things that I could tell people about the things that I knew about them, and then I would just keep all that stuff in my back pocket. And if any of them, like, I always thought, well, just don't fuck with me, and I don't have to use this shit. So I had all these like, it's like I had nuclear codes for like different people, if they so decided to come at me, and then I would just like have like a catalog of what is like one of the meanest things I can tell this person, and then it would just be, I would never use it actively. It would
How
just
can I break people
well,
and then move
yeah, I
on
would
as if
just think
nothing ever
like, oh,
happened?
if they came at me so that they would never talk to me again or never fuck with me again or never like want to deal with me ever again. And so I would
Sociopath behavior.
it's not a sociopath. I'm like actively thinking about like if this person acts like an asshole, I want them to not talk to me anymore ever again. So
Nah,
what's
thanks.
what's the mean thing
You're
I
already
could
almost
say?
there, mate. You're already almost there.
But I don't do that anymore.
Is
That's
the
why I have
stream
to
over?
that's no. That's why I have to like sit here and really think about it now because I
What do you
don't
mean the
really think
stream's not
about it.
on?
The stream's on.
Yeah.
I asked him if it
Why'd
was
you say
over.
no?
No. I mean, no. He said, "Is the stream over?" And I said, "No."
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, anyway, guys, I'm taking off.
No, I redeemed something.
What? Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
Why?
I want to see what you come up with. And I'm just genuinely curious.
All right. Let me see. Um.
Give me one of your nuclear launch codes.
No, I don't have any for you though. I don't make
Aw,
those
damn it.
anymore. I have to like come up with something on the fly.
Well, it's not like you could hurt me, right? I'm just more
Yeah.
curious.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I know. I'm just trying to think of something clever. Um. Let me think here. Hold on. I almost got it. Okay, here we go. I wish the thing I wish the thing in um I wish the thing you had been talking to as a child would have taken over. It would have made you a more interesting person.
Oh.
There you go. Was that
Kind of
me?
disappointed. No, not
Okay,
at all.
I'm sorry. Well, I don't know. There's nothing I could say to you that would bother you. So,
I don't know you.
well, I mean, I
That's
could
what-
just be
well, I mean-
I mean, I could say stuff that would gross you out, but that's just you grossing out. That's not really being
Yeah,
mean.
that's well. I mean, whatever, right? I was just. It's not that I wanted you to be mean. I was just curious on what you came up with. So it's okay either way.
Yeah, I mean, I just had to like think of something. Apparently, others thought it was mean. Anyway, okay, so I'm sure I could come up with better shit, but I don't want to. I don't want to hurt people. All right, thanks a lot,
Oh,
guys.
Angst loves hurting people.
Well, only if they're asking for it, and only
There you go. See, he's a sociopath.
only if they're asking for it and it causes them pleasure. Anyway,
No. He just likes hurting people.
no, I'm not. I'm like, I don't know.
Especially the helpless ones that don't
What's
want to
weird
be
about
hurt.
the sadism with me is that, like, my sadism, I don't know if it's even sadism, because, like, it only works if the person enjoys it. If the person doesn't enjoys it, then it's not is it really sadism? Like, I'm not really trying to cause harm. I don't get off on harm. I get off on the fact that somebody likes the harm. And
Okay, we get it. Sex talk. Anyway, move on.
Anyway,
Sex
whatever.
isn't real.
Shadow.
I know. It gets
Sex
all,
literally isn't real. Grow
I
up.
know. So, God. Anyway, all right. Well, thanks a lot, guys. Peace out. I don't think I'm gonna be hopping on the regular channel of the server today. I got a buddy to hang out with today. I'm gonna do some
Coward.
stuff. All right, man.
I
Very fun. Go have a good one.
When day is dark, always remember